later.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Social Media Fridays, episode 89. I should say Social Media Fridays on Monday. Each week we no, I'm sharing the wrong page, aren't I, guys? Yeah. Let me just sort this. Won't be a second. That's better. Normally we have more items. I should remind you that if you have an item of interest that you'd like discussed on Social Media Fridays, please post it on the Social Media Fridays community on Google+. With us tonight we have Edwin Jonk. Edwin is CEO of IDIS Host in the Netherlands. He can be found at idesthost.nl. Masataki Wasa is webmaster at wasaweb.net, and he's also a Google Top contributor on the AdSense and also the Google Plus Help community. Masataki can be found at wasaweb, wasaweb.net. And Maher Bhagat is a social media dynamo and human resources specialist from Delhi, or New Delhi in India. Tim Capper is the CEO of the onlineownership.com in the UK. He's also a Google Top contributor on the Google My Business community. Okay, so our first item we did cover, I'm fairly sure, last week, but I put it in accidentally. Let's cover it again. It's sorry about that. Mobile chat's biggest players. Mobile chat will take over in 2017 with over 28.7 trillion exchanges of messages. So I don't know about this metric. I mean, what's its value? Hello, is my microphone on?
Yeah. Forbes.com decided that to play the next video with music, so it's a little bit of annoying. Well, it's clear that Facebook is the largest when it comes to messaging, because they are also the owner of WhatsApp and they have their own messaging. So Facebook is the largest platform for sure. And I think the main growth of chat messages will be outside the US, because in most countries people have to pay for text messaging. So for every text message they have to pay a couple of cents. So yeah, that will be expanding, I think.
Yeah, but I wonder what. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Maher.
I think it's also the flexibility, because most of the users currently, see, if you look back 10 years or 5 years, 10 years we hardly had cell phones, and cell phone had a very limited purpose. 5 years, years ago, we did use text messages, and few of the apps were there. So if you look at today, using certain apps is of course free. There is just a very minimal cost to it, which is your basically data. And not only that, it's a great platform to actually develop your brand, develop a very singular purpose communities, and I believe it's very flexible for people to use messengers instead of using now social networks. Like 5 years ago, it was social networks, on hype. Now it's messengers on hype. So yes, it's convenient, it's handy. The conversations and the number of conversations that we're looking at, 28.7 trillion. Yes, it's not a big number when it comes to mobile. I think it's a very estimated, clear-cut number because that's the transaction that we have, and pretty much it.
Yeah, and also on the technique side, most phone calls now go over G2. They are working on left on 4G. So if you have if there's already a 2G tower or 2G connection, you should be able to both make phone calls, text messages, and have some internet. And 2G with mobile chat works perfectly. So
Now, okay, so if I have to really, raise some eyebrows here, I would like to make a statement. I think within 2018, it should be the phone companies which should be under threat because people would not be actually buying numbers because most of the messengers give you flexibility to call people, do conferences. So, it's a big threat because people can just have a SIM card, not a number, just, a 3G service is activated on it and get on, their mobile. They don't even need a number to actually use a phone. So it's a
well,
big threat.
WhatsApp works with your phone number, right? So if they would use a name, then they have a problem because they cannot communicate that within their own database. Right, you can have multiple people with the same name, but because they have different numbers, and that's how WhatsApp works. And here in Europe, the ECB is now looking to see if your phone number can be your banking account, the number for your banking account. So I don't, and there are other services, also banking services connected with your phone number. So I don't see it happening here in Europe at least.
See,
I
not
think the
basically.
phone number will actually be more important than, for example, your bank number or your home address.
Yeah, I think that's the only purpose phone numbers would actually be used for because if we look at why was phone numbers in place, first of all, it was to make calls, it was to receive text and send text. Now if we have to basically get into anything, we have to, even though if we have to sign up for WhatsApp or any of the apps, even for in banking, we are required to give our numbers. So yes, I think pretty much the number has the only this particular value, but the ways things are advancing because even on Facebook has messenger options which allows you to add your number into. I haven't added it. I have a unique name on it, a unique username on it on Facebook. I have a unique name on WeChat, which is another great application. Instagram, and there are another apps like Snapchats, and those another different apps give you a very unique name instead of just a number. You don't have to add your number. You just need to have your unique name to it. So I mean, see, the initial purpose of a phone having a SIM card with a number is basically is evolving. So if we have to buy a new SIM card, it could be a number. Of course, any SIM card would be given to you by default number, but I think the purpose is basically changing. People are not using uh, their individual numbers to make calls. They're using WeChat or WhatsApp or different mediums to actually connect. It's just very limited, and the purpose has actually been very limited now as people are building to connect on different platforms, especially when it comes to messenger apps. So it won't be actually going out of the business. It would not actually been thrown off, but I think companies would start actually working on data plans instead of call values and all those things. Those would be later expensive, but yes, they're definitely trying. In India, that I've seen is they're trying to make sure that data packs that they allot is of a higher value because that's where people are actually connecting, and that's what more usage is on at least Indian, mobile apps version that we're looking at.
Yeah, the number of minutes called and text messages sent here in the Netherlands are dropping, or at least not growing, and people are buying data packages. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
See, value is, if you have to look at the equal value, a phone call or a text message would always be cheaper than using a messenger app, because not only that, it gives you a lot of flexibility. It does give you sending pictures, sending anytime messages, getting, whether it's delivered or not. It's very flexible in that case. So yes, people are using less their phone call values, which is by default given via their mobile operators. So yes, there has been a tremendous decrease. Because I use messengers. So yes, if I have to say, maybe not call, but yes, if texting, I use iMessenger instead of normal SMS. That's flexible, because I get immediate response delivered and received or read. So it's fast, it's efficient, it's flexible, and it's cheaper, definitely cheaper. So I think that's pretty much it. And I think this number, what we are seeing right now, is 28.7 trillion, which could easily be 30 trillion by 2017 itself, on the same year. I think we just have to be alive and to wait till 2017 to see that actual numbers coming out.
And the biggest player that has all those services within one, right? You have your phone number, your MMS, SMS. It's basically Hangouts, right? But for some reason, nobody is using it, as far as I know.
If I have to look at Hangout, I think it's one of those platforms which has been underestimated by a lot of
Yeah,
people,
but it
especially by except Google.
yeah,
I think
it can do more than the messaging or WhatsApp, right? Because you can
yeah, it has
also
so much tremendous potential.
send. Yeah, you can also send to phone numbers, I think. So it's pretty amazing. But for some reason, people don't really use it.
US calling is free on Hangout. US texting is also free. I can send text on Indian numbers. That is a limit of 50 messages in a day. That's a limit that even we get in India while using Hangouts or Google. So yes, Google does have potential. I think it's just that they underestimate their own products and services very badly. They're bad parents. They're really, really very bad parents of their own products and services. But they do have a lot of potential, because they do have clientele, they do have people using those services. It's just that they do not give that opportunity to, let the product do more for people around. Um, I think in 2017, if we really have to see somebody grow to a very, very extensive number, one could be, of course, Facebook. The second, that with the numbers that we see, could be WeChat. I'm not sure if there's any other platform which can give tremendous hike in numbers when it comes to uh, transactions that we look at in trillions.
Okay. So will we say that we've covered this?
Yes, let's wait for 2017 to actually get the results.
Okay. All right. The other topic. Whoops. Now, where did this come from? Oh, yes. This creepy app lets you hire a real-life follower for a day. Besides everything else, The promo video shows a beautiful woman who gets out, drinks fine wines in hippie cafes. She goes by a furniture shop and she goes to the market. I'm not that beautiful. I've never been in dispute. Nor do I like to go out every day or visit hippie cafes, let alone visit a furniture store. I really hate those places, and IKEA is online these days. And I do not smell vegetables when I am at the supermarket. I do try to be out of the supermarket as fast as I can. So I do not think that app is for me. Thank you, Edwin Young. When I said I'm not that beautiful, I wasn't suggesting that it was you that I was referring to. I thought it was me. Okay, so we've got this this app. This creepy app lets you hire a real-life follower for the day.
Yeah, it is creepy app, but I was a little bit surprised by the ad on that particular page. I don't know why they make everything so beautiful. I don't think it is also interesting to follow someone, right? You're sitting at home and you're watching other people do stuff, and it's probably not that interesting, is it?
Well,
Unless you're at a gym, of course, and then you're hanging around a swimming pool, drinking fine wines.
no, I don't know about fine wines, but yeah, I think that anybody that followed me would find themselves bored shitless pretty quickly. Okay. All right. Well, guys, I'm left with the decision to either shut down or ask you. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about? Anything else that we've missed covering on social media this week? If you're watching, also we'll cover any topics that you'd like to post on the social media Fridays on Monday community on Google+.
I would like to add something on this creepy app. It's, I think, usually for people who are into brand development, that's where they really need it, especially on social media to get some, other people's attention. But I find no value, because if somebody doesn't stick to your brand as a loyal customer, there's no point having them in the first place. But yes, when people say, we want people to come and join, comment, and this and that. So yes, these creepy apps are great too, but they're not actually efficient or long-lasting. So it's just something for a day and then move on. That's my say on it. About new thing, if I have to add, I did update. I think I added a new post on Twitter that we tried. There's a new Twitter additional feature that Twitter has done. That's a video tweet, that you can add a video tweet via your mobile app that only allows you 30 seconds of video recording and post it on your as a tweet. The only thing that I have discovered so far, because I've only done 2 tweets, so 2 video tweets, and the quality that I noticed was basically decreased, not that very much, but a minor difference I could see on replay of my video and then actually seeing it on Twitter. The another thing that I noticed is that Twitter does take a minute to actually approve that video to go live. It's maybe the queue process or validating process, something. Yes, but yes, it takes a minute. I don't know. Edwin did that upload, and I am not sure whether he experienced that. So that's pretty much it from my end on social media.
I had a look at those posts that you made, and I see that we're going to cover that next week.
We can do that. We can do that with some additional posts and see how it actually works, and we can do that again next week with some additional testing and responses.
So we end up with a cliffhanger.
No, but
I'm gonna watch it next week to find out.
I had a look at your Twitter video that you posted in the chat here. I didn't realise what a pretty girl you are, Mahir.
Oh my God, thank you.
It's tough for me sitting here just having a look at Tim Capper all the time, I tell you.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
what do you mean you never realised the hair was gorgeous? Huh? Man, she's been on here forever. I like knew 5 seconds from the day she joined us. I was like, yeah, that's all right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
We aim to please, darling.
All right. So nothing else this week?
Well, going back to that creepy app that Edwin posted about, it is interesting in that I don't understand it, but for people who have lived, who are, if you like, digital natives, who are used to this thing, who are used to projecting themselves to the wider world through social media, this would seem quite natural.
Yeah, but there's also the people that watch reality TV shows, but of course they tend to be a lesser form of human life.
Well, I think people are often interested in what other people do. That's true whether you watch sort of reality TV or fictional TV. I mean, people want to watch things and then, empathize with the characters or go against the characters, So it is, I think it does appeal to human nature. The weird thing for us is that, you're allowing total strangers to stalk you essentially for a day, right? And that sort of violates our perspective of, if you like, the proper personal space. You don't you want to have your own space, and then you don't want to be followed by goodness knows whom for a whole day, because that would seem like a violation of personal space and personal time. But if you're used to being out there on social media platforms, then it's a natural extension.
I don't think it is a violation of any kind, because it's opt-in, right? You have to download the app, give permission, and yeah.
No, but I meant in general that we would feel a bit weird about this. I think you expressed that this sounds somewhat odd.
Yeah, if it is opt-out, right? So if by default Facebook does this, right, then it is creepy. But if this opt-in, then it's not really creepy, right? You agree or you don't agree, and if you know the consequences, then you can make a good decision, and there's no issue about that, right? That's pretty clear.
Absolutely. No, I think the idea that I'm struggling with, and perhaps you did too, is the idea of people being exhibitionists. They want to go out there and allow other people, invite strangers to follow you for a whole day.
Yeah, it wouldn't be something for me.
And I'm wondering why that's the case, because I think it comes down to our our perception, our idea of what our personal space is. So you have to be comfortable to allow someone into that kind of space, into that kind of time, and that usually means that you are going to allow people whom you trust, so your family members, your good friends, those kind of people that you would allow into that space and that time. If someone else were to do that without our consent, we would feel that as a kind of violation of that time and space. But for people who sign up to this app and they like to do this, so they would like to exhibit themselves, if you like, to other people who are total strangers. That concept, that idea that you want to do that, that is foreign to me. That is very strange to me.
Yeah, and I think that if people would do this, they would do something interesting that day, right? Otherwise, why should that stranger keep watching you, right?
I think.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Please. Let's have your view, then I'm going to add mine. Let's have your view first.
Okay, I don't know. I think people can be interested in other people's minutiae, lives of minutiae, because I think we as beings are often intrinsically fascinated by what other people do. And it doesn't have to be exciting. It doesn't have to be they have to go out and save the world or run a marathon. It's just that it seems to be interesting to see what someone does. And that could be eating a donut. It could be going into IKEA. It might be going to a local park. And I wouldn't find that interesting, but for some people, I can imagine that could be an interesting thing to do.
I'll call that stalking.
Yeah. But have we got the right take on this? Because my understanding of the app is that you're actually going out and looking for somebody to follow you, to keep an eye on you, rather than you observing somebody else.
Well, it's the two sides, right? So you have people that want to be followed, and people that follow someone.
Yeah. So you have to have an exhibitionist and a voyeur.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one being stalked and one is actually stalking.
Yeah.
If that's without permission.
Mr. Taki, did you hear about the sadist and the masochist?
But you have to have both.
The masochist said, "I suppose you're going to beat me now," and the sadist said, "No." It's pretty deep. Never mind.
Yes, Marquis de Sade was a proper philosopher. But no, I think that's the important thing, that you have to have two people, or two types of people. People who want to be followed around, and then people who want to follow other people around. You have to have two parties for this to work. And I think there are plenty of people doing that. And perhaps there are even more, because the social mores and social behaviors have changed. And I struggle with the idea because it's strange to me. But for people who are used to projecting themselves, exhibiting, if you like, themselves on the net, then it seems to be a natural extension of that. People are posting a lot about who they are, a lot about their personal stuff. And if they're used to that idea of exhibiting themselves online, and now, it's not just text anymore. You can be posting videos, you can be posting pictures, all sorts of things. So people are used to doing that now. And then it seems to be a natural progression to be, to have an audience. Having someone follow you around is, if you like, an affirmation of who you are. So that's on the exhibitionist side of things. And then you have the people who want to follow people around because they're fascinated by what other people do.
I can only say to those people, get a life.
See, my take on this is that I believe it's still, this creepy app, I think it's called Followers. It's still under social experimenting. It's a concept of social experimenting, which is okay. We guys are human. We like to experiment in all the odd ways. So this is one creepy app that does experiment in an odd way. But I think it's. I don't know whether this is the potential prospect of this app, but I think this app can be a great tool for people who look for people as understudy, somebody who wants to undertake any kind of study, and somebody's like, doing a great massive work and doesn't have, a tool to exchange that kind of, experience. I think that this app could do wonders for those kind of people. See, if I'm supposed to, um, learn at least a singular piece of art, or anything for that matter, and I see somebody who does that and is on this platform, I don't mind not actually following, but yes, going there and learning what they do and how they do it, and kind of being as an understudy there. I think that could be a great concept if you really have to experiment and do social experimenting. It's a valuable concept. Mm. And the other thing that I see a lot of YouTubers, they do visit a lot of places and do signups and this and that. So this app could do a lot more experience and exposure and wider audience for them if they like show.
In the article, McCarthy, the founder, explains that it is part of an ongoing performance art project. So maybe it's for people like Kanye West.
Yeah, but only one follower?
Yeah. That follower probably has to pay $1 million. It is art, right?
Yeah, it troubles me, I tell you. Well, I mean, it's not real. It says a real life follower. I mean, for that real life follower, I mean, do they really think that they're going to see that person do what they really do? You're not likely to,
What's the
be
cost on this?
observed washing out the rubbish bins. Go ahead.
You've been able to get this for years on Fiverr. Pay a fiver, and someone will pretend to be your girlfriend for the day. Someone will follow you on your, they offer for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They've been doing it for years.
How many times have you used this service, Tim?
13,000 times.
So there are really people that pretend to be your girlfriend for the day.
Yeah, it's been on Fiverr for freaking years, man. Years. So I don't know what you want an app for, because it's you can, yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose the app is free, is it?
I don't know.
I mean, I suppose though, yeah. I suppose it'll save you a fiver then, won't it?
Yes.
I didn't hear the response. Would you guys be okay if I follow you 24/7? Jim would probably have an answer. He just don't want to say it on live media. He would say, "Get a life."
Yes, I'm not sure if I'm ready for the experience of following around Tim Capper for the day.
Couldn't handle it, mate.
But yes, it's creepy, and the follower app that's labeled as creepy, and this does sound creepy, and I have no idea when actually app name creepy comes out what it would do. I wish I never see that day. But
I
then
mean, if
there
you
are,
want someone to follow you around, surely the first thing you'd do is buy a dog.
I think if I really have to follow someone, I would really love to, be behind a kid instead of being a dog. That would be a meaningful relationship for me. Now, I love dogs. I have a dog, but yeah, I think I would probably stick with kids. So,
Okay. All right, I think we've
I
really.
mean, hey, listen, hang on. On Fiverr, people even like make a song for you and sing it to you, and make a video recording, one-on-one, personal. They'll read your. I mean, yeah, go to Fiverr. You can get so much more there, man. You can get so much more there. People will do your tarot cards for you. Yeah, you don't need. Just go to Fiverr. They'll get everything done.
And are they still charging $5, or is it adjusted for inflation?
No, it's still a Fiverr, but of course, if you want extra, you pay extra.
All right. Well, I think that's probably a good time to hit that button and move on to the next. And the next is thank you for watching. Your interest in what we do makes what we do worthwhile. We thank you for your participation. We'll be back next week to do this again, and until then, though, it's good night.